Good morning, students. In this lecture 33, we will mainly going to discuss about length contraction. But before discussing length contraction, which is a very important topic of this chapter, we will first discuss observer and viewer in relativity. Normally, what does an observer means? Normally, an observer is considered as a person. It can be either a person or equipment performing measurements. And such an observer, it will occupy a particular position in any particular frame of reference. And that observer, he will be able to record an event only on reaching the light signal from the event. सो नॉर्मली कोई भी जो ऑब्जर्वर है वो या तो कोई पर्सन होगा या वो कोई इक्विपमेंट होगा जो मेजरमेंट्स को परफॉर्म कर रहा होगा. एंड ये जो ऑब्जर्वर है उसने कोई भी एक पर्टिकुलर पोजीशन ऑक्यूपाई की होगी इन एनी पर्टिकुलर फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस, और वो जो है उस इवेंट को तभी रिकॉर्ड करेगा जब जो लाइट सिग्नल है वो इवेंट से उस तक रीच करेगा. But what happens in case of relativistic formulae, in case of special theory of relativity, it is assumed that an event is instantaneously recorded at the place and time of its occurrence in any given frame. So, special theory of relativity में क्या है कि जहाँ कोई इवेंट अक्कर हो रहा है तभी उसी टाइम, उसी इंस्टेंट पे, उसी टाइम पे, उसी प्लेस पे वो रिकॉर्ड होता है. और उसी प्लेस पे, उसी इंस्टेंट पे हम उसे तभी रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हैं अगर ऑब्जर्वर जो है वो किसी भी प्लेस पे इवेंट हो सकता है. तो ऑब्जर्वर जो है उसे किसी भी प्लेस और किसी भी टाइम पे प्रेजेंट होना पड़ेगा. सो टू बी एबल टू डू सो, the observer has to be present at all the places and at all the times in any frame of reference. So, what is observer in case of relativity? So, relativity में जो observer है, actually it is an infinite set of recording clocks and measuring scales which are distributed all over the space of the inertial frame. And all the clocks, they are synchronized with respect to one another. So जो relativity में जो observer है वो कोई person नहीं है. Actually observer जो है relativity में क्या है, क्योंकि जो observer है he has to be present at all the places and at all the times so that he can instantaneously record at the place and time when any event occur in any given frame. So जो observer है, it is an infinite set of recording clocks and measuring scales which are distributed all over the space of the inertial frame, and all are synchronized with respect to one another. And what is viewer in case of relativity? A viewer is a person who just views a rapidly moving object from a single distant point, and viewer is not present at all the places and at all the times, and he records a distorted picture of the object. So that is a viewer in relativity. Now, the Lorentz transformation equations have many consequences. So the main consequences of Lorentz transformations are: number one, it results in length contraction. It results in time dilation. Number 3, twin paradox. And number 4, simultaneity of relativity. And now we'll discuss all these 4 important consequences of Lorentz transformations one by one. And in this video, we are going to discuss first main consequence of Lorentz transformation equations, and that is length contraction. So what this length contraction is all about? As the name indicates, length contraction means length will be shortened. But in classical mechanics, so far we have discussed in unit number 1 and in your semester number 1, we have discussed about classical physics, or you can say that Newtonian mechanics, where the Newton's laws of motion can be applied. And we all know that in case of Newton's laws of motion, or in case of classical physics, we deal with objects having velocity very small as compared to velocity of light. So in classical mechanics or physics, where the speed of objects, speed of moving objects, it is very small as compared to the speed of light. In this classical physics, the length of any moving object, it remains same for all the observers, irrespective of the fact the velocities relative to the object. So what happens in case of classical physics, where the velocities of the moving objects, these are very small as compared to the velocity of light, that length of the object, it doesn't change, it remains same for all the observers, irrespective of their velocities relative to the object. It might be any value of the velocity of any observer with respect to the object, but the length of the object will remain same. But in case of relativity, special theory of relativity, we know that the velocity of the moving object, it approaches the velocity of light. So in this case, the length of the object, it doesn't remain same. It starts depending upon the velocity of the observer with respect to object. So in case of theory of relativity, we all know that the velocity of the objects or the observers, it approaches the velocity of light. So the length of the object, it changes, and it starts depending upon that what is the velocity of observer with respect to the object, or what is the velocity of object with respect to observer. So in case of relativity, the length gets shortened. So here we have considered two inertial frame of references, frame S and frame S dash, such that frame S dash is moving with velocity v along positive x-axis, and this velocity is a uniform velocity with respect to inertial frame S. And at time t is equal to t dash is equal to 0, the origins of this is O and this is O dash. Both the origins were coinciding. And here we have considered a rod AB which is placed in frame S dash, and this rod AB, it is at rest in frame S dash. And the distance of its edges from the origin O dash in frame S dash are x1 dash and x2 dash, and the distance of its edges from origin O in frame S are x1 and x2 respectively. So what will be the length of the rod? Length of the rod, as we are discussing the theory of relativity and as we are using the Lorentz transformations in case of theory of relativity, so here the length of the rod, it will be different when viewed by the observer in frame S dash or when viewed by the observer in frame S. As the rod, it is at rest in this frame S dash, so the length of the rod in the frame in which it is at rest, it is known as proper length. And the frame in which this rod is at rest, that frame is known as proper frame. So here, the length of the rod in frame S dash, it is called proper length, and this frame S dash, it is known as proper frame. So here you can see, which I have already told you, you can read that we have considered two frames S and S dash. Both frames are inertial frames, and frame S dash, it is moving with the uniform velocity v with respect to frame S along x-axis, and then we have placed a rod AB in frame S dash along x-axis, and the coordinates of the rod, of the edges of rod in frame S are x1 and x2, and in S dash are x1 dash and x2 dash respectively. Now this rod, it is at rest in frame S dash, so the length of the rod as measured in frame S dash in which the rod is at rest is known as proper length, and it is denoted by L0. And the frame in which this rod is at rest, that is S dash frame, it is known as proper frame. So now what will be the proper length? It will be the distance between the two edges, that is x2 dash minus x1 dash. So this is the proper length of the rod in frame S dash. But what will be the length of the rod with respect to the observer in frame S? It will be L, and it will be equal to the edges, the coordinates of the edges, the difference in the coordinates of the edges as viewed from frame S, that is x2 minus x1. Now we have to derive the relation between this proper length, that is length in frame, length of rod in frame S dash, and the length of frame, length of rod in frame S. And this relation is derived or can be derived only by using Lorentz transformation. We know that this x2 dash and x2 and this x1 dash and x1, these can be related, these are related with the help of Lorentz transformations. So using the Lorentz transformations, will be able to derive the relation between L0 and L. So according to the Lorentz transformation equations, we know that x dash, it is gamma x minus vt, where gamma is 1 by root 1 minus v square by c square. So here how x2 dash, it will be related with x2, it will be gamma x2 minus vt, and x1 dash, it will be gamma x1 minus vt. So now put both these values x2 dash and x1 dash in this equation of proper length, and you will get gamma x2 minus vt minus gamma x1 minus vt. Take gamma common, and you will have x2 minus vt minus x1 plus vt. This minus vt plus vt will be cancelled out, which implies you will have L0 is equal to gamma x2 minus x1. And what is this x2 minus x1? It is the length of the rod as viewed from frame S. So it will be gamma into L. And we know that gamma is equal to 1 by root 1 minus v square by c square. So it will be L will be equal to L0 by gamma, and putting the value of gamma, you will get L0 into root 1 minus v square by c square. So this is the relation between the length of the rod as observed in frame S dash and as observed in frame S. So length will be shortened by a factor of 1 by gamma, and this 1 by gamma, it is equal to root 1 minus v square by c square. So length gets shortened from its proper length by this factor, and this factor, it is known as Lorentz factor. So we have obtained this relation. This, or also you can write it as like this. So as you know that this gamma, it is always greater than 1. Why? Because gamma it is equal to 1 upon root 1 minus v square by c square, and we all know that this factor, it is less than 1. So that is why this gamma, it is always greater than 1. So if gamma is greater than 1, then L will be less than L naught. It means the length of the rod, it appears to be shortened to an observer in frame S. And also the contraction always takes place only in the direction of motion. Now here, as the frame is moving along x-axis, so the length of the rod, it will appear to be shortened only in the direction of motion of the rod, or only in the direction of motion of the frame S dash. And as the motion is along x-axis, so only the x coordinate of the rod, it will get shortened. Now here, as the motion of frame S dash with respect to S, it is along x-axis only. So the length of the rod, it will change only along x-axis, and there will be no effect on the length of the rod along y-axis and z-axis. So there will be no change in the length along y and z-axis, or you can say that there will be no change in the length in a direction perpendicular to the motion. So length contraction always takes place in the direction of motion, and there is no change in length in a direction perpendicular to the direction of motion. And remember these two formulae from numericals point of view. So what were the conclusions? So the conclusions in case of length contraction are, या तो अगर रॉड स्टेशनरी हो और जो ऑब्जर्वर है वो विद रिस्पेक्ट टू रॉड मूव कर रहा हो, तभी लेंथ कंट्रैक्शन होएगी, या फिर रॉड मोशन में है और ऑब्जर्वर स्टेशनरी है, तभी भी सेम वैल्यू जो है लेंथ कंट्रैक्शन की होएगी. सो लेंथ कंट्रैक्शन इज सेम इवन व्हेन rod is stationary and observer is in motion, and length contraction is same in the case when rod is in motion and observer is stationary, and result in both the cases of length contraction is same. Then shortening of length, it occurs only in the direction of motion, and that too by the factor of root 1 minus v square by c square, which is equal to 1 by gamma, and it is known as Lorentz factor. Now suppose in place of rod you have placed a scale in frame, in moving frame. If you have placed a scale in the moving frame, then when you will view the length of the scale from frame S, then because of length contraction, if frame S dash, it is moving along x-axis, then the length of this sphere along x-axis, it will get shortened, and to the observer that is in frame S, this sphere, it will appear to be a rectangle. For the observer in frame S dash, to the observer in frame S dash in which this sphere is placed, it will appear as a sphere, but to the observer in frame S, this will appear as the rectangle, because length along x-axis, it will get shortened, it will get contracted. Similarly, in case of a circle, if you place a circle or a sphere in frame S dash, then this circle or a sphere, it will also move with the velocity v, same velocity v as that of the frame S dash. So this circle or sphere, it will be at rest in frame S dash. So to the observer in frame S dash, this circle will appear to be at rest, and it will appear as a circle to the observer in frame S dash. because observer in frame S dash, he or she is also moving with the same velocity as that of frame S dash and as that of a circle. But to the observer in frame S, the length gets contracted along x-axis. So length will be contracted from these two ends, and this circle to the observer in frame S, it will appear as ellipse because of the length contraction. So now we'll discuss the numericals based on the length contraction. So first of all, a meter rod is placed. So a meter rod is projected into space at such a high speed that its length appears to be contracted only to half a meter. Now tell that how fast this rod is moving. So a meter rod is projected. It means what is the proper length? So proper length of the rod is L0, and it is equal to, a meter rod means it is equal to 1 meter. And when this rod, it is projected into space at a very high speed that V approaches to C, then its moving length L, it becomes half of its proper length, half a meter. So it will be 1/2 meters. So now we have to calculate the velocity V with which the rod is moving. So we know that L is equal to L0 into 1 minus V square by C square. So we will have L by L0, it is equal to root 1 minus V square by C square. Then squaring both sides. So after squaring both sides, you will get L square upon L0 square, it is equal to 1 minus V square by C square. So what is L? L is 1. 1 square will be 1 upon L0 is 1/2. So L0 square will be 1/4. It is equal to 1 minus V square by C square. Now this 1 upon 1/4, it will become 4. It is equal to 1 minus V square by C square. Wait, the value of L is 1/2. So the value of L is 1/2. So L square will be 1/4. And the value of L0 is 1. So it will be 1 square is 1. So here we have 1/4. So now move this V square by C square to left hand side. And on right, move this 1/4 to right hand side. So 1 minus 1/4. When you will take LCM, it will be 3/4, means 4 minus 1/4, it is 3/4. So now V by C, it will be equal to root 3 by root 4. Root 4 is 2. So this means V is equal to root 3 by 2C. Put the value of root 3, which is 1.732, and then divide that 1.732 by 2, and you will get V is equal to 0.7C, 0.75C. So this is the speed, high speed of the rod with which it is projected into space. Then its length, it will be reduced from 1 meter to half meter. So now next numerical, a rod which is 1 meter long. It means again the proper length is 1 meter. And this rod, it is moving along its length with velocity 0.6c. Velocity is also given 0.6c. And what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the length of the rod as it appears to the observer on the earth. Means we have to calculate the moving length, that is L. And L is equal to L0 root 1 minus V square by C square. What is the value of L0? It is 1 root 1 minus V is 0.6c. So what will be the square of 0.6? It will be 0.36 c square upon c square. C square and c square will be cancelled out. You will get root 1 minus 0.36. So L is equal to root 0.64 and square root of 0.64 is 0.8. So the length gets contracted from 1 meter to 0.8 meter for an observer on the earth. Now next thing is we have to calculate the length of the rod as it appears to an observer who is moving with the rod itself. Now for the observer who is moving with the rod itself, it means the velocity of that observer is also the same, that is 0.6 c. So to that observer, this rod will be at rest. So the length of the rod appearing to an observer who is moving with the rod itself, it will be same, that is 1 meter. So this is the answer of second part and this is first part. Next is the length of the spaceship when at rest on ground is 100 meter, means it is the proper length 100 meters, and its length in flight as measured by an observer on ground is 81 meters. It means it is the moving length from the observer of the different frame. It is 81 meters. And we have to calculate that how fast is the spaceship moving, means we have to calculate velocity. So according to the formula, L is equal to L naught root 1 minus v square by c square. We will have L by L naught root 1 minus v square by c square. Then after squaring both sides, we will have L square by L naught square, it is equal to 1 minus v square by c square. So putting the values here, L square will be 81 square, L naught square will be 100 square. It is equal to 1 minus v square by c square. Now move this v square by c square to this side. It will be moved this to this side. It will be 1 minus 81 square upon 100 square. Now this square, it will become square root on this side. So v by c, it is equal to root 1 minus 81 upon 100 whole square. So this 81 by 100, it will become 0.81. Then take the square of 0.81, then subtract it from 1 and then take its square root, and what you will get, that v by c comes out to be 0.587. It means the spaceship is moving with a velocity of 0.587 of velocity of light. Then last numerical is, we have a cube which is at rest, and when this cube is at rest, its volume is L naught cube, and then that cube, it starts moving with a speed v parallel to one of its edges, and according to special theory of relativity, show that its volume has changed to this. Now suppose this cube is placed in frame S dash and frame S dash is moving with speed v. In frame S dash, this cube is at rest, and in frame S dash, this cube, it will have the volume of L naught cube in frame S dash. But when the observer who is in frame S will observe this cube which is moving along x-axis, to that person, that edge of the cube which is along x-axis, that will get contracted from L naught to L naught into 1 minus v square by c square. So what will be the volume of the cube for the observer in frame S. It will be L0 length into breadth L0 into height will be L0 into root 1 minus v square by c square. So it will be L0 cube 1 minus v square by c square 1 by 2. Hence proved, because length contraction only occurs in the direction of motion. So in the direction of motion, the length L0 of the edge of the cube, it will change to L0 root 1 minus v square by c square. So changing its volume to the observer in frame S. So this is all about length contraction, its conclusions and its numericals. And in next lecture, we gonna discuss a very important, another important topic, that is known as time dilation.